Now in the next session, we will meet the person who knows Strapi company website better than anyone else, because she is the person who builds it. And she will show you how right now, so please meet Marianne Ott, a front-end developer from Unlikely.
Thank you, Anastasia. So yes, my name is Marian, and I'm working for a French tech company called Unlikely Technology. And we have had the pleasure of working with Strapi for over a year now, mainly on the website that you can see on my screen right now, and also on the website that you are currently using to watch me talk, the StrapiConf website. I myself have been working with Strapi for almost a year. And this gave me the opportunity to really take a deep dive into the Strapi CMS, and I really grew into loving it quite a lot. So this talk is going to be about showing you how to build the structure of some of these website components and showing you some tips that I think can be useful to you, and show you what I really, really like about this tool. Since we don't have a lot of time together, let's get started right away. So we are going to open the content type builder. And the first component that we are going to create is going to be quite useful. We're going to create a link component. It sounds basic, but I think we are more than one to have known the hassle of having to create over and over again a link component with a basic href and label. Here we are going to use it to create it only once and be able to use it everywhere, thanks to the amazing nested components ability from Strapi. It gives you the opportunity to create a almost limitless component library. All right, let's start. So create a new component that we are going to call link. And we are going to create a category that I'm going to name shared, because it's going to gather all the shared components that are going to be used by our bigger components. And so, like I said before, we need an href, we need a label, and we can also use the enumeration field type that will allow us to add a target field with the only value being blank. I'm not going to add a default value, since I want Strapi to send me back a null response when the target isn't blank. Because mostly the links that I'm going to be using on this website are going to be internal. If it's not the case for you, feel free to go to advanced settings and change the default value here. Let's click finish and save. So let's get started with the navigation. So we need a few things to get it working. We need some panels that you can see here, and each panel can have one or more sections with the title and links, some bottom links, and some push with an image, title, link. Let's start with those. So I'm going to create a component that I'm going to call navigation push. I'm going to create a new category that I'm going to call global. And you'll understand why later. And so the push, like I said, are going to need a title, an image, and a link that we just created before. So we're going to click on component, use an existing component. We're going to call that one link. It's a single component. We only need one. And let's select the link. Finish, save, and done. Now let's create the section component. So we are going to call that one navigation section. Same, global category. And this one is going to need a title and a few links. I told you we would use that one a lot. Another field, component, use an existing component. Links, because it is a repeatable component, we need more than one. And let's select link. Finish, save, and done. And now we are going to create the parent of those elements. So the panel. Let's create the navigation panel, which is a global as well. And the panel needs one thing, is an entry point component. So it's going to be a link. Finish. And here we also need to add the pushes and the sections. However, Strapi will not show you in the UI those nested components, not to crowd your view too much. So to show you what I'm talking about is if I wanted to add the navigation section or panels, I would not be able to in the UI, but that's all right. We're going to save it. There's another way of doing that. And it's simply by using your code editor and the JSON files generated by Strapi. So open the components folder, global, and then open the navigation panel. Here we go. And now we are going to add the sections, which is a type component. Repeatable, absolutely. And the component we want to use is global, so the category, and then the name of the component, navigation section. Since I'm lazy, I'm going to copy and paste this one underneath and call that one pushes and replace the name right here. And we're done. We're only missing one thing, is the bottom links with the small arrow. Once again, lazy. I'm going to copy paste this one. Call it links because it is a repeatable field. Save. And we should be all right now. Perfect. So you can really see the strengths of Strapi right here in this view with all the level of imbrication of the components. And that's one of the features that make it really, really flexible for a developer. And now we only need one more component, which is the, let's say, the master component that will hold everything. And we are going to be very original, and we are going to call this navigation, which is a global as well. What I like to do when I create new components is to add, most of the time I will add one component, and then I will do everything on the JSON file. I think it's really practical to do that. Let's add an enumeration field again. And we are going to call that one theme, because sometimes on the Strapi website, you can see that the header can be light or dark. It's mostly between white and purple. And in the advanced settings, I'm going to choose light as a default value. Finish, save. And here we are. Now I got my file right here. I'm going to copy this. And the navigation is going to call a single component. It's the panel. And it's a repeatable. You can save that one. And here we are. So that's really something that's very, very practical that I encourage you to do. Try to think about your Strapi components the way you would think about your React components. Think about reusability and think about how you can divide them into smaller parts that you will assemble later on. That's exactly what we did here. All right, now let's get going and create the hero component. So as you can see, there is a title and a text and a few buttons. And actually, this structure can be found in many, many places on the website. You can see it here, obviously. You can also see it here without buttons, but with a label. You can see it right here. If you scroll down even more, right here, and pretty much everywhere on the website. So let's make it a component. So we need a label, a title, a text, and some buttons. So we are going to create a new component. I'm going to call that edito. I'm going to put it in shared. All right, so a label, title. Let's use the rich text for the text field. Text. Let's use the theme field as well, because sometimes you want the label maybe to be blue or to be purple, to be yellow, or whatever color is your favorite. So theme, I'm going to add purple and yellow, finish and save. And for the button, it's not really a link, but it's almost a link. It's just basically just a link with the background color. So let's create a button. Create a new component that we are going to call button and that we can use everywhere. Shared. And it will need, once again, a theme field. We can use advanced setting and choose a default value as well. Finish. And it will need, you guessed it, a link. All right. Now I believe we've got everything we need to create the hero. And for this one, I'm going to create a new category I'm going to call slices. For me, the slices are going to later on populate the dynamic zone that we will show you a little bit later. And the slices are basically the elements that will create your page. All right, so an image. And then we got a nested component in this one. I'm going to copy that one. Open the hero. Paste your code. We're going to call that content. It's not repeatable. It's not a navigation panel. It's a shared .editor. All right, sounds good to me. Looks good to me. And here it is. All right, so let's start building at least one page. So let's create a single type. And this one I'm going to call global. And obviously it's going to use the global elements I created before. So most of the time I create a single type called global for all the generic components that I will use on my website. For example, a header or a footer. In this case, we're going to use the navigation. And once again, I'm going to use a very original name and I'm going to call it navigation. Call navigation as a single component. Finish, save. And if we go under single types, global, you can see we got our navigation. So most of the time, Strapi keeps your data. I'm not really sure how that works, but it can become really practical sometimes. Let's say if you deleted the field by mistake and you entered data on it before, if you recreate it using exactly the same field names, you will get your data back, like I just did right here, because to prepare for this talk, I actually created those elements and added some data so I could show you how it's done. but I didn't want to lose too much time by adding multiple links. So here goes. And now we are going to create a new single type, and it's going to be homepage. And on the homepage, what I would like to have is a dynamic zone that will hold all the slices available. I'm going to call that slices. Use existing components, and here you can add. You could call it anything you want. Obviously, I could easily add some shared elements in the dynamic zone, but I don't think that would be useful. For me, it's better to keep the shared components in a separate folder. And actually, the slices are going to be using the shared components to become a slice. The shared components are basically small components that help making bigger ones. All right, if you check slices, Strapi will automatically select all the slices that are not currently available in your dynamic zone. I only have one, so that's pretty easy. Finish. Let's save. And let's see how it looks on the front end side. I'm using Next.js. All right. And blank page. Bit disappointing. So sometimes it happens, and sometimes it can be so unnerving trying to find the reason for that, because you made everything correctly and still there's nothing showing up. So if it happens to you, maybe not, I advise you to check out your API endpoint and check out the response. Maybe the answer lies there. And here we go. We get a 4-3, forbidden. That means that there's nothing to worry about. It's just a permission setting that you forgot to check. So you can go back to your Strapi admin, go to settings, and under users and permissions plugin, you can click on roles, public. And if you scroll down, you can see that global and homepage are completely empty. Just check find for both of those, and this will allow the get request to be authorized. And I'm pretty sure we should be able to find something more interesting now. There we go. We got our navigation with our panels, our sections, pushes, and so on. So normally we should be able to see something a bit nicer. Ooh, what's up with that? Not found. Oh, of course. I'm going too fast now. Let's create that home page now. We're going to create the slice hero, add an image, add some content. I'm just going to get that here. All right, so you know what? I'm going to add a label as well. Hello, Strapi Conf. And the theme is going to be purple. All right. Save this. How's it going now? Maybe I should publish it. All right. That's better. And here we go. We got our pushes, we got our links, our panel, our hero with our image. And I'm realizing that now we don't have any buttons available for the hero. And that's not a good thing. Well, edito. Did I forgot to add the buttons? Well, apparently I did. Maybe I added some button somewhere and I didn't realize. Maybe you did. Sorry about that. Type. Component. Repeatable. Sir. And the component we would like to call is shared that button. Okay. Well, here they are. Let's add learn more. It's going to be a yellow button because I really like yellow. Here we are. Done. See, that was pretty easy, huh? All right. So now what we're going to do is add maybe another slice to our website. Let's add this one. And we will be able to use our editor component. All right, so there are two ways to do this. Either you create a collection for the features that you can call with a relational field, or you can just add those manually inside your slice. For the demonstration purpose, I'm going to create a relational field because it's pretty interesting. So what I'm going to do is create a new collection type, and I'm going to call that feature. And a feature requires a title and a text and an icon. A title, text, and icon. Finish. Click save. And now I got a features collection. Once again, luckily I did my homework before, and we got everything available. Now all I need to do is create a slice, and I'm going to call top features. In the slices category, it will have a relational field, a one-to-many relational field because I want to add more than one feature. Finish, click save. And here it is, features. And what we can also add is an intro field, type, yep, component, repeatable. I don't think that's very useful. And the component that we are going to call is editor. All right, how does it look now? Good to me. So we get one thing to do though, because if I go to the home page, I want to add the top features. Oops, it's not available right now. So I need to go to my content type builder, go to the home page, and here you can add a component to be available. And like I said before, I just need to click on slices, and he knows I need one. The top features. Finish, save. And now I only need to call top features. I'm going to take that here. Add my intro, top features. Build that fast, that's true. And you see, this is the relational field. And it knows the features I've got right here. So I only need to click them to add them to my list. And I'm done. I just need to save that. And hopefully, boom, I got my features right here. All right. Something that I wanted to show you as well is that you can also create a collection type that can be pretty useful, that I personally use quite a lot. And it's a universal collection type. Basically, this is all the pages on your website that all have kind of the same structure and that will need pretty much all the same slices, but in whichever order you want. Okay, let's give it a try. So what we want for our universal pages to identify them is, well, we can call that UID, or maybe, you know what? We can just create a simple, well, it's up to you. I'm going to use a simple text. Save. And here it is, universal. And there's something, well, there you go, Hello Universal, that I created before. And what it's missing is, yep, a dynamic zone. Let's create slices as well. It's always best to keep the same structure everywhere, so it will work in any case. And if I click slices, I should have two this time. Yep, top features and hero. Let's finish. Let's save. And since Strapi is pretty smart, it knows already that I added those before to my page. So here it goes. I got a hero. Let's add an image. It was missing. You know what? Let's add a universal label and add the top features. I'm only going to use 3 this time. Yay for features. And the theme is going to be yellow. Boom, boom. Yellow as well. I'm going to save. And so my slug is hello universals. So if I go here and I put slash hello universals, hop, maybe there's a mistake. That's too bad. I hate when that happens. Maybe it's just because, oops, once again, I told you it happens all the time. See, I was already going on my code editor to try and find the mistake in my code, but there you go. There's no mistake, hopefully. Universal, find one, find, save. Okay. Yay, and now it's working. You can see that we are on universal page. We've got our still navigation that's always here, hence the global. And see, we've got our 3 features. I think it's very, very handy because it allows me to create on the go another page right now. Strapi conf, add a hero. Cool. Strapi conf. Thanks for watching, guys. All right. Don't forget to publish. And here we go. That's pretty cool, right? If you'd like to know how it works, you can just go to your next folder under pages. I just got the dynamic route set up with a slug. And I just created a function called fetch page that allows me to fetch the appropriate data according to a type and a slug if required. For a homepage, for example, I don't need the slug, it's just a type. All right, guys, that's all the time we have together. I hope this talk was nice to you, that you learned some things. I really had a lot of pleasure doing it for you. So let me know what you think, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference. See you guys.
Thank you, Marion, for this amazing talk and for our website. If you want to ask Marianne a question, you can do it on Discord. And if you want to check Strapi website out, please go to strapi.io.